Hey, Informal Geometry. Sorry I'm gone today. I'm sorry you have to listen to this lesson through a computer screen because it's kind of just a lot of definition, so just bear with me. It won't be so bad. It's just, like I said, a lot of vocab, and it's new vocab, but it's not difficult. So that is the plus side to this. So whatever I put up here on the board, please copy down into your notes when you're done watching this video. Show Mrs. Kohlmeyer, she will give you your homework, and then you will talk about all this stuff tomorrow if you are totally lost, okay? So again, bear with me, just write down whatever I write down and try to like think about what you're writing down too. Don't just write it down and not think, right? Like be engaged and think about what you're writing down. Okay, so we're going to talk about points, lines, and planes, which is just kind of the very basic things in geometry, okay? So a point, and obviously some of them are pretty self-explanatory. We all know what a point is, right? It indicates a location. So what would that look like? It would be a dot with a capital letter next to it. So you name it by using a dot and a capital letter. So maybe over here put like a little star, capital letter. Okay. A line, it's just obviously what you think a line is. It's straight and goes on for forever. Straight and goes forever. And I'm pretty sure we all know what a line looks like, right guys? Woo, woo, there's a line. It's not very straight, but it's a line. And you name this two ways. So there's be points on your line, you need two. Again, you need two. Or sometimes there's like a little cursive letter, like an L. So how you would name that would be with two letters, A, B, with a line on top, or B, A, or you could say line L. So if there's a cursive letter next to it, you could use that, line L. Okay, now probably something that you haven't heard yet is a plane. So first let's draw a picture over here. All a plane is, guys, is a flat surface. So it kind of looks like a rectangle that's slanted on its side, okay? Think of like the walls in a room or the floor or your desktop. That would kind of represent a plane in real life. So it's a flat surface. A flat surface that goes on forever. Okay, and you name this two different ways. You could have points on here. You could say plane ABC, or if there's a capital letter in the corner just off by itself with no point next to it, so just like a random capital letter, you could call it plane R. Plane R. Okay, now we get to some easier definitions in my opinion. I gotta scroll here, so bear with me, bear with me. Bear with me, I'm scrolling. Okay. Collinear points are points that are on the same line. So points that lie on the same line. So again, woo, here would be a picture. There's my line L. And then I would have points. Why is this going so slow? A, B, and C. Those points would be collinear. Coplanar, think, if collinear meant on the same line, coplanar would mean points on the same plane. Points on the same plane. So again, a plane is our flat surface. our rectangle. I'm going to call it S. And then we have some points on here. A, B, C. So A, B, and C would be coplanar points. Okay, coplanar lines, I bet you know what it means. Lines on the same plane. Okay, so again, let's draw a plane. This time let's call it B. If I had two lines on here, right? Let's draw two lines. Woo. And woo. Let's call this one line L and R. Line L and R. How are we doing? Are we doing okay? Okay, moving on. Just a few more left, everyone. A segment is just a part of a line. So it's a part of the line that has two endpoints. Part of a line. Part of a line that has two endpoints. So a segment has a starting point and an ending point. So it starts and stops. A, B, you gotta label those points. So you could call this segment A, B, and you have to put that little segment bar on top, or B, A. That's a segment. Okay, obviously endpoints are where a segment starts and stops. Starts and stops. Perfect. And then lastly here, guys, to end out our definitions, is array. An array extends in one direction for forever. So it's kind of like a line, but it only goes one way, whereas a line goes both ways. So I would call this X, another point Y. So this would be called array X, Y, and then you always start with the endpoint. So you guys see how X is where I start. So when I label it, it'd be X, Y, and X has to come first, and the arrow's over Y because that's the direction it's extending in. Okay? I know that was a total information overload, but I think you'll be okay. So let's turn the page in your notes. And now it says draw 3 non-collinear points. So let's think about it. Non-collinear would mean not on the same line. Okay, so non-collinear means 3 points not on the same line. So, okay, I think we can handle that. Here's J, K, and L. I think we can all agree that those, you could not draw a single line through those 3 points. Then it says, then draw line. Okay, do you guys see how it's a line because it has 2 arrowheads? JK. So I'm going to draw a line through JK. Then draw segment KL. I knew it was a segment because it's just the bar above KL, so it has a starting and an ending point. And then lastly, it says draw ray LJ. And I know to start at L and go towards J because L comes first. it's a really ugly picture, and I apologize. Okay, so let's fill out this table. So I need you to write JK, line JK, segment KL, and ray LJ. So, is it JK a line, segment, array? Well, we know it's a line because it has 2 arrowheads. How many arrowheads? Well, a line always has 2 arrowheads. And since a line goes on forever, it has 0 endpoints. Okay, the next one says segment KL, so let's put in segment. And remember, a segment starts and stops, so it has 0 arrowheads, but 2 endpoints. And then lastly, we have ray LJ. So here's ray, and again, it has an endpoint which it starts at, and then goes on for forever. So it has 1 arrowhead and 1 endpoint. Okay, hope that makes sense for everyone. If not, again, we're spending tomorrow on this material too. I need to shrink this a second, so hold on here. I think this will work. Okay. So we're going to use this diagram to name the following, okay? So now we're just using that new vocab to look at a picture and say what it's pointing out, all right? So it says, let's just start here. A line which contains point B. Well, let's first locate point B. Here's point B, and it's on this green line right here. So remember, you need 2 letters to name a line, so you could either write AL with a line on top, LA, you just switch the order. You could use BA, AB, again, we're just switching the order, and then the last combination of letters, you could have BL or LB. Perfect. Good job, guys. All right, let's just move to the right. We'll go to the right here. So it says, what segment contains points H and J? So let's find H and J. So it starts and stops at H and J. So you could say segment HJ or segment GH. And its endpoints are H and G. Did I say HJ? I meant G. Sorry about that, guys. HG. Good work. Now we're moving on to ray with an endpoint at C. So here's C. So you could have ray CD or CE. You just need the endpoint and another point on the ray. Okay, plane containing point D. So here's point D, and remember, when you name a flat surface a plane, you need 3 points, not on the same line, in that plane, okay? So you could name it plane KCD, plane DKE. I'm just using these points in the plane, right, guys? Or plane DC, EK. Essentially, you just need to make sure you use point K because it does not fall on this ray CE. Okay, bear with me, we're almost done, don't let me lose you, okay? It says plane which does not contain point D. So we just said this blue plane had point D, so we're talking now about this green plane. So a plane, we can name that as plane HGL. Plane HGL. Now we get to some easier ones. It says name 3 collinear points. Remember, collinear means on the same line. So let's use this line right here. So points H, G, and F. Those would be collinear points. 3 non-collinear points, you could do C, D, and K. I think we can all agree that those are not on the same line. C, D, and K. 3 coplanar points, but not collinear points. Okay, so that just means they're on the same plane, but not on the same line. So why don't we try something on this green plane? We could use G, F, and L. Anyone like the band Florida Georgia Line? FGL. What about 4 non-coplanar points? So I need points on 2 different planes, because non-coplanar means they do not fall on the same plane. So if we start on this green plane, H, and F are on the green plane, now what's a plane or point on the blue plane? Well, K and D. So that could work. So H, F, K, and D. Good work. 2 left here on the home stretch. Name 2 coplanar lines. Hold on. Scroll, why won't you work? Okay, so 2 coplanar lines, so 2 lines on the same plane. Well, I have line HF, and what about this line here, this edge? Line AB. So line, let's do the symbols here, HF, and line AB. Again, put the arrowheads on top of your line. And this is kind of a trick question. We haven't quite yet talked about this, but I think we're smart enough to figure it out. If we look here at this picture, it says it wants to know what the intersection of 2 planes are. Well, let's look. I know I have 2 planes, right? Because one's green here, and then I have this blue one. So if I look at my markers, where do my colors overlap? Right here. Now what kind of a geometric figure is that? Well, it's a line, right? So 2 planes intersect in a line. Okay, so in this case we could call that line AB. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for listening. Please be good to Mrs. Kohlmeyer. If there's any issues, I promise there will be consequences. So just be good, work on your homework, finish it, and I will see you tomorrow.